There's already 3 people in here. 4 people. I've got to go close the door. All right, so I'm going to need some heads up from everyone, like maybe a thumbs up in the chat, just to make sure the sound's working and everything. We'll get going in just about 2 minutes, just to get everybody a chance to get in here. Right now, it looks like I've got 5 people in. I want to make sure I'm not touching my face or anything. Thank you, Mr. Cosand. The sound is working perfectly. Well, I've got some notes here. We'll get started soon. I hope everyone is safe and taking some time to relax and just hang out with your family. I know that today was definitely the day that I was like, man, I'm ready to go back to school. So I hope that you get a chance to just learn a little bit more and see how we're going to be trying to connect. Mrs. Flock is trying to talk to me right now. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. It's about 6:30 now. I'll try to see if anybody is coming in. As we're going, I did just want to mention to everybody that the best way for this to go would be just to write down some questions on the chat, and that will be a place that I'll kind of go through after I go through my notes, and we'll try to explain from there. I really hope that the video doesn't start from the beginning when people log in and that it's actually live. This is my first time using YouTube Live, so it's a learning experience. So hopefully it is working correctly and that you're able to just jump in whenever you get logged in. So we're just going to address some concerns and talk about our plans for the next couple weeks. And from that, we will try to make sure that I've got information for you guys. The reason we chose to do it was I did not particularly want to have to say the same thing to 25 different people, and I felt like this would be a good spot for us to kind of share in one place. I'm going to be looking off and trying to read my notes and stuff, and I'll just try to get through everything clearly and quickly, but please use that chat if you have any questions. Right now, we're going to get started right here, and my first thing that I have is I just wanted to address the idea of continuing our learning and just how that's going to work. It looks like we will probably be working from home and doing distance learning for the rest of the school year. We got some information from ODE, and there's a really good possibility that that's the case. So from here moving forward, we're just going to plan on that fact that it probably will be. And if it isn't, then that'll be just an exciting little bonus surprise that we get. So that said, anyone that's worried about their students falling behind or not getting as strong of an education over the next 2 months as they would in the classroom, I do want you to just be aware that this is the same situation that every student in Oregon is going to be dealing with. It's not just our district. It is statewide, and really most of the nation is going to be in the same position. So if you are falling behind or feel like your student's falling behind, just know that this is something that everyone's dealing with, and it will be kind of understood nationwide. That said, I don't want to just not do anything that's going to help us learn or prepare us for fourth grade. And we're going to do as much as we can to prepare our students for fourth grade. One thing that we're going to really try to implement is just how is this going to work? The main thing that we have decided is it's not going to be a daily assignment or a daily lesson that students are working on, but it will be set out weekly. So we will have what's called a learning grid, and a learning grid will be sent out every week. And you can see that learning grid kind of as a weekly planner. It has all the assignment options that students will have, and in each column, so there'll be like a reading column, a math column, social studies column, and then there'll be multiple assignments in the column. The reason we have multiple assignments is we understand that not everybody has great Wi-Fi. I know that at my house, we've been having some issues just with multiple people trying to do Zoom meetings and stuff these last 2 weeks. And so the Wi-Fi is being stressed. And so doing face-to-face meetings and stuff all week would really probably not work for most families. So there will be options for some assignments that might be done paper pencil and then reported online on what they've done, or there'll be more digital lessons as well. So we're giving those options to make sure that we have the ability to meet everybody's needs. So kind of the setup that we have is every Friday at 5 p.m. or around 5 p.m., we will post the next week's planning grid. I know that I will be posting it, but I will also, it's one grid that me, Mr. Kosan, and Mrs. Maytanis are going to be using. So we're all working together on this. So all the third graders at Kennedy will be doing the same stuff, even though my specific students will be working within their class. So that grid will be posted on on Friday. Ooh, my bad. On Friday at 5 o'clock. So then after the weekend, on Monday at 8 a.m., I will post some videos on just kind of explaining what we're doing and try to talk through it a little bit. So those will be posted on Monday. On Tuesday, we're going to have a meeting time with students. So this will be where I will be meeting with individual students throughout the time. I'm sorry, I left my phone on and it's buzzing at me. So we'll be posting with individual stuff throughout the time. Wow, that was way off. I'm sorry. If you're watching this is not very professional. I'm sorry. On Tuesdays, we will set my class into 3 different groups. So there'll be group 1, group 2, and group 3. And so that will bring down our 26 kids to like 7 or 8 students. So with those students, we're going to be meeting for about 20 minutes, and we're going to try to do some sort of meeting. We haven't decided particularly if it'll be a Zoom meeting or what it will. But it will be a time where students are going to be able to see me face to face, some social time too, where they'll be able to see their classmates a little bit. And we'll just have 20 minutes where I'll try to explain different things and have a time where anybody that has had any questions will be able to have those answered. So that'll be specifically for the students on Tuesdays. But then on Wednesdays, I know that parents will probably have some questions too. So aside from being able to message me questions, we're going to do what's called office hours. So every Wednesday at 5:30 in the evening, we're going to do a YouTube live just like this, where I will just be logged on for an hour and parents can log in and ask me questions or try to get some extra help with some of those things, and also students as well. So that'll be a great point for us to be able to connect and try to help as much as possible on what is being expected. I know that, so that's kind of our weekly plan. Now, how are we going to be getting that done? Well, first of all of my communication is going to be streamlined, and we decided this as a grade level, that all my communication with parents is going to be through ClassDojo. So I'll be posting announcements, the grid, everything like that will be going through ClassDojo. And then with ClassDojo, I will also be posting any communication with students on Google Classroom. So parent communication, it seems really easy with Dojo, and then the more academic communication with students will be on on Google Classroom. Wow, did I say Google Classroom the first time? Parents, Dojo, Mrs. Flock wasn't listening. Parents, Dojo, students, Google Classroom. And that'll be our main focus on communication, trying to get everything streamlined and exactly where it needs to be. Our next thing on my list of things to talk about would be Chromebooks. If you are needing a Chromebook, I will be sending out all the information for that as soon as I have it. I don't right now. I know that we have enough Chromebooks to give every student a Chromebook from 2nd grade to 12th grade. But our priority has been seniors and students that are looking at graduating. So on Tuesday, we began giving Chromebooks out to seniors. And so that's going on throughout this week, is getting high school done, and then they'll do middle school and then elementary. So we are going to be getting Chromebooks, but it takes a while to get 12,000 Chromebooks to people without spreading the virus. So it's kind of been a whole process. So I'm expecting at some point next week, I will have a lot more information on how to pick one of those up. That said, for the next 2 weeks, this week we began our first Soft Start Learning Grid was started today. So for this week and next week, we're really not doing anything that's going to require a Chromebook. We're just trying to get people into the rhythm of what we're going to be doing and how we're going to be communicating with people. So the meetings with students will not be happening until everyone has Chromebooks. So we'll wait with the video meeting with students, even though some students might have devices of their own. So that'll be waiting until everyone's got the devices. So the way the learning grids are going to work, the learning grid will be a planner of just, these are the options of assignments or work that you're supposed to be doing. And it will evolve and change as we go through this. We're going to start small, just trying step by step to make sure that everyone's done this. I've never done online education. Most of you guys haven't. So this is kind of a learning process for everyone. So we're going to just go really slow and real easy. And we're going to work up to trying to get some really good work done. And it could be really exciting thinking about like some of the different things we could be doing and some of the assignments we could be working on. So we're going to really just push ourselves to get better each week on how we're doing that. But with that, the way we're going to be posting these is the specific assignments are going to be posted as assignments on Google Classroom. Students log into Google Classroom through Hello ID, and that is going to be where they are able to actually turn in an assignment, whether it's just turn in a response of what they did or to actually turn in the physical assignment if it was a digital assignment. So we will post those on Google Classroom, but I will still be posting the learning grid every week so that you guys have that communication of what's happening. And so I will post that to ClassDojo, the learning grid also. All right, let me continue down my list. All right, so assignments and expectations. I will be explaining a little bit more about attendance when I understand a little bit more. I know we are going to be required to show that students are participating, and that's going to count as attendance. I'm not exactly understanding how that's going to happen, but it will. But it won't happen this week, and it won't happen next week. We're going to wait for the first 2 weeks are going to be very forgiving and letting those things go. So the assignments that we've posted are definitely things, if you want to turn them in or show us what you've done, please feel free to do that. And if you don't want to do them, if you don't want to, please do them. If you don't want to report them to me, please feel free to just keep them to yourself and make sure you're staying on, like communicating about what you've done with your parents, or if I'm talking to the parents, with your students. I'm sorry, I'm a little flustered right now. Thinking about with those assignments, that forgiveness is going to be pretty gentle on how we're expecting to report what we've done the first 2 weeks. We're trying to get everybody in this groove. I understand that the students are 8 years old and that they're not working professionals, and so expecting them to just jump into this online learning is not going to be something that we're going to do quickly or necessarily easily, but we will do it slow and make it as simple as possible so that we get into the groove. I've always been impressed with the third graders, especially this year, on just how flexible they've been and able to pick up new things. So I'm not worried about it at all, but it will take some time to get there. So next on my list, what should parents be using? So on top of the learning grid, I know a lot of parents are like, well, how do I fill all this time that my child's at home? So there are a lot of different resources that they have available. Some of the things that we have in the classroom that are accessible online would be Extra Math, Imagine Math Facts, iReady Lessons. iReady Lessons is good for math and for reading. There's both on there. And then some digital books. So we have 2 programs that we use for that. One of them is Sora, which actually uses the state library and the district library. So students are able to check out books. Some of them are audio books. Some of them are just like Kindle version digital books. So reading is still available, and we still have some library access through that. Another literacy thing that they would be able to use is Epic, which is very similar, but it's not as much of a book checkout as much as there are just books available for them to read. There are books that are all grade levels though, so just kind of be aware of what books they're going for, making sure there's books that are kind of not too difficult and not too easy also, and making sure we're still reading a lot. That's a great way to take some time right now, is reading. I believe on Hello ID there is AR if students are wanting to do that. If not, I think that we might have turned it off so students aren't allowed at home. I know they're working on that. But please read. You don't need to take it to be able to read a book. So please make sure they're doing that. I do know that we're going to work on like kind of a fast give cheat sheet for all the login information. But generally speaking, if students can get into Hello ID and Google Classroom, they'll be able to get to these places, and the links will be either in Google Classroom or on Hello ID. So speaking of that, how do students log in? There are a couple different things. If somebody is going to be using a district computer, a district Chromebook that they're borrowing, then when they log into the Chromebook, it's the same Chromebooks that we use in the classroom, so the login will be the same. You'll just have to make sure that you get the Wi-Fi connected first, and then you just log in the same as students do at school. But if you're using your personal device, you'll just want to be able to open a web browser, and you'll go to the Medford website. That's medford.k12.or.us. And on the left side, on the right side, there are a list of different things of students, parents, staff, community. Click on the Students tab and scroll down a little bit, and it is the Hello ID portal. So Hello ID portal, and students will be able to log in from there. So the Hello ID portal login is their student ID number, which is 6 digits, and then it's at student.internal, and the directions are on it when you click on Hello ID portal. And every single one of our third graders, don't tell anyone, their passwords are the same. It is KN, like Kennedy, FL, like flock, and then the number is 2019 for the year of third grade, so 2019. So those are kind of their login stuff. Also, parents, if you're on that Medford website, there are some good resources for you. One of them is a website that they've created in the last 2 weeks called the Parent and Student Anywhere Learning Resources. And that is a website that's got a lot of different resources and links on what students have access to. There's also a really good spot for the COVID-19 responses and updates. And so some of the stuff for that is on there as well. Also meals. So the district is still providing meals. I'm not sure how breakfast has been working, but I know that lunch is being provided at different sites. And there's an updated website on the Medford website that explains how that is all working. So please make sure to use that resource if you are needing to. So I'm not sure. I think there's a couple other things. I have one other thing to go through, but first I'd like to see if there's any questions. So right now I've seen that Mr. Kosan is able to write a response. If you haven't been able to write any questions on the live chat, feel free to, I'll log into Class Dojo as well. And if there's any questions, we'll see if anybody writes any questions through that as well. But I'll just kind of keep an eye out and see if we have any questions to see if I can answer them. I just am seeing that Peyton has invented a pooper scooper as one of her assignments. Oh, speaking of Peyton, Taylor, how much time should they be working each day? That's a great question. So since we decided to go on weekly versions, this is going to be changing. Obviously, I don't expect students to be doing stuff for 6 hours a day. Right now, for the next 2 weeks, we would assume 30 to 45 minutes really focused on it, maybe more if they're deciding to do some reading on top of it and stuff. But focus on the assignments we're giving. Probably 45 minutes a day would be the max that I would expect. And then there's on top of that, we have a health and wellness grid that will be posting some of the things like, posting things like physical activities to be doing and maybe some music stuff as well. So that could be on top of that also. I would suggest setting up some routine of maybe assignment time and then some daily routines like extra math or an iReady lesson or something like that. Yes, I will make sure to post the login information. But if you go to the Hello ID portal, when you click to log in, it does have the directions and it shows what the students need to write. But I will post that as well. So I know that the Imagine Math login, I don't have that memorized right now, but I'm working on that post, that flyer to be able to get all of those logins for you guys. So the specific logins, I'm not 100% sure on right now. So this is a good question. This is from Chelsea. There are some students that are working through, that were coming to me for math from Mrs. Hess's class. So we're still kind of up in the air on that. I believe what we're going to be doing is Mrs. Hess will be posting the assignments for you guys, you three that are in Mrs. Hess's class. So Devin's asking, for the login information also. So I'll send messages for that today to everybody on Class Dojo. I believe I've got almost everyone connected to Class Dojo. All but one of my students, so that's really awesome. But I will say one more time, because I've had a couple of people ask. I might have gone a little quickly. So Hello ID login is the student number, which is 6 digits, at student.internal, and the password is KN, like Kennedy, FL, flock, KNFL 2019, so 2019. And so that was from Kira's parent. Let me see what else we got. So some people have been asking about the Chromebook. I know we've sent out a couple different surveys on how to get a Chromebook, but really and truly we're going to wait until we know when, and I will send out as much information for that as well. So even if you haven't asked for a Chromebook and you're starting to think you might want one, please feel free to show up for the pickup whenever we get the information for that. All right, so oh, you're welcome, Taylor, for the video. I hope that this is going to work well. I think we'll try to see if this is working. If it has not been working for you, please message me on Dojo, and we'll be able to figure out some of the kinks to fix to make sure everything's working for you guys to be able to ask questions as needed. So while I don't have any more questions right now, so if you do, please write them. But the big thing right now is just forgiveness and just letting things go. I've been super impressed with just how much people have been working on wanting to encourage their students to be learning. And I know that from the top down, the district's been really impressed. I don't know if everyone's aware, but my dad is a principal at Lone Pine Elementary, and it's been really cool to see just from the administration aspect of really we're kid focused and we're wanting to do what's right for kids. The biggest thing right now is just keeping them safe and healthy. So that's really our main focus, is just to keep everyone healthy. But on top of that, we want to continue our education, and I want to continue teaching, and your students want to continue learning. So we're going to be doing as much as we can for that. So the one other thing that I did want to talk about is Friday. So this Friday at 10 a.m., we're going to be doing a teacher parade through the neighborhood for all of the students. And this is just a time where we're going to be able to just share some joy and just get a chance to see each other. So we're going to be driving through the neighborhoods. We'll have signs and honk, and it'll be a fun time. So we'll be sending out an event reminder for that, and a route map. So if you guys are wanting to be able to come out and wave, and one thing we're talking about doing with that is something that we've seen from a lot of the children in Italy right now. They've really been locked down and having a hard time. But this thing has happened where a lot of students have been painting or drawing these rainbows and putting them in their windows for everyone to kind of see that they're all together through this, and that that the rainbow will come after the storm. So that's going to be some of the things we're going to be trying to share out. So we'll send out a reminder about that on Dojo tomorrow. But I did want you guys to know. You guys are the first ones to know about it, so that's pretty exciting. But we'll do a teacher parade through the neighborhoods, and we're going to try to see as many students as possible as we just drive by and wave and try to get to see you guys, because we miss everyone, and it's going to be exciting to see everyone. So we've got a couple questions really quick. So will Tuesday groups be on Zoom? That is a great question. I am really hesitant to put 8-year-olds on a video chat where they're going to be able to talk to each other. It might be a little intense. So we're not sure what we will use. Zoom is definitely a possibility because it is already loaded up into their accounts. But we also might look at Google Hangouts or some other aspects. So the Tuesday groups are still a work in progress. But Mr. Kosan and Ms. Maytanis and I have been meeting together every day, and we're working through that one. So I'm assuming that this might be from Yuri, asking about other parent phone numbers to ask for addresses for pen pals. I think that's a super great question. So why don't we do this? I'll post a thing on Dojo where I ask if anybody's wanting to be involved in that, and if they are, they can send me their info, and I will post that. But I'll only post the parents that are wanting to be involved with pen pals. So that'll be a totally optional thing. So yeah, that's a great idea. All right, have you seen any other questions or anything?
Oh, see, I told you.
What?
Peyton.
Oh, Peyton says hi to Mrs. Flock. So Mrs. Flock's gonna wave.
And we're bringing Peyton on Friday.
And yeah, so Peyton the dog will come. So Peyton the student can meet Peyton the dog, which will be fun. So yeah, if you guys, anyone that's not able to come to the meeting, I understand there's timelines and different things dealing with that, but I just wanted to give you guys this chance to ask any questions you have. I think this will be a good point for us to try to do weekly, and it won't be required by any means, but just a time for parents to kind of log in and ask any questions that they have. Anything that you feel like you've missed, we'll be posting. Mr. Kosan and Ms. Maitanis are going to be doing a meeting kind of like this too, and after their meetings, we'll kind of compile all of our questions and make like a fact page that we can share with everyone so they can kind of see some of those frequently asked questions and the answers. So, anything else, Mrs. Flock? No? All right. I guess we could say also, if any of the students are watching, we can make an assignment that the chores are going to be required at home, maybe cleaning the floors or folding the whole family's laundry. I think that could be a great thing for them to be working on. So this is a good question. So when is the first day that they're going to be signing into something for school? So when we're going through this, we technically, our soft start, the first day back for students was today. So we originally, 2.5 weeks ago, we canceled 2.5 weeks, which was 6 days of school because we had spring break in between. And so the first day that we're going to be doing work was through that. So then once we have everybody with Chromebooks, that'll be the first time that we're requiring people to be able to log in and make contacts through that. But please, I'm going to be checking in as much as I can throughout this week and next week to make sure that students are kind of set up and ready to go. But we'll probably be not next Monday, but the Monday after that will be when we're kind of hit the ground running. And Aiden says, please do not do that. And you know, Aiden, you're going to need some extra help. I heard that there's a new baby brother or sister on the way, so we'll have to make sure you're helping out a little extra down there. So looks like I might have one more. Let me look really quick. Oh no, that's just my brother. Okay, so I'm not seeing too much more. If you did miss anything, please write me a question on Dojo, and that's going to be our best communication line. So that's just kind of a reminder. All of our communication really is going to be best through Dojo. That'll keep it in one place and easy to find. Also, I did want to mention any of our students that are seeing Miss Abby or Miss Lewis, they are being added to Class Dojo, and so they'll be in a Class Dojo with that teacher also, so you'll be able to contact those teachers as well, which will be really good. I have another one here. How will grading work, and when will that be done? That's a great question. So third quarter grades, which we were almost done with the third quarter when we canceled the last week of the third quarter. Third quarter grades were originally going to be coming out this week, but because of the cancellation in classes, students in high school and middle school are doing some catch up to try to get all of their stuff finished up from the third quarter. So I will be doing grades this week, and then I'm assuming they're going to be coming home probably either next week or the week after. That we'll be sending home third quarter grades. For the fourth quarter, grading is going to be a little tricky on how it's going. I had mentioned that it looked like we're probably going to be doing this the rest of the school year. So the Oregon Department of Education sent out some guidelines for that. And so we will, as teachers, will have some more information on Friday. And I'll be getting that to you on how we're going to be doing grading and what that looks like. But at least for this week and next week, it'll be mostly just participation of seeing if people are just communicating and trying to get together. So there won't be any grading happening this week or next week. So it looks like that's about all we've got right there. I think we'll just kind of end it at that, 36 minutes into it. So if there are other questions, please make sure to write on Class Dojo, and I'll try to respond to those as easily as possible. And thank you so much for being involved with this. This is really exciting to do this, and it seems like it worked pretty well. So we will try to make sure that we're doing a lot of communication like this, and we're just going to be flexible and figuring out what works. So thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. Is there anything else you can think of? Yeah. So yeah, maybe we'll do like a little class studio YouTube live thing as well. That'd be kind of fun. So yeah, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it, and please stay in contact. Anything that you guys need, that's my number one priority, is to help you guys be successful this, and just be forgiving. Let everything kind of just work itself out, and we'll make it happen. So don't panic. And Nikki, I hope that you are doing well right now. Yeah, so thanks, guys. We will get some stuff out for this, and we'll plan on next Wednesday doing it again. So thank you so much.